Okay, so we'll start with this process that I am just loving, and it's combining the work of Dr. Narum and also the work of the Logan Basic Chiropractic Technique that I just love, and might even combine some stuff from integrated manual therapy, the strain counter strain of Sharon Giammatteo. And I did some of it with a guy yesterday. I had a meeting with an amazing guy and a runner, triathlete guy. And so I had him walk a little bit in the parking lot and then do a couple of things. We'll start with that first and then have him walk again. And he said he felt looser and lighter and he was walking better, like he could run. And he said it went very meditative, very fast. So so we're going to start with that first. Yeah, let's start with a little physical healing. So, and you guys can all do it with me. You guys know this technique. A few fingers on your belly button, and two fingers, either these two fingers or those two fingers on the upper neck, the very, very upper neck, not the occiput bone, but the upper neck. And we're just going to touch those, the belly button and that upper neck part, and then push it up towards the ceiling and just hold that for a little bit. It's so, so light. I did this with another one-on-one client this last week, and she's emailed me back twice about how deep it goes into meditation. She's from India. She does lots of meditation. So this is just a great thing to do. And this actually combines something called primal release technique, or primal reflex release technique from John Imes, a physical therapist in San Diego. He uses it in a different way, but there's a little muscle on the side of the neck on both sides called your rectus capitis posterior superior. It's actually the first muscle we dissected in physical therapy school, and a teeny little muscle between the head and the first bone in the neck. And for some reason, when you interact with that muscle, it downregulates the vagus nerve, which is the nerve for trauma, like emotional trauma. And it's also the nerve that innervates the heart and the lungs and the GI tract and the colon and the pancreas and the spleen and the liver. We're going to combine a few things. So there's that. And I like this one from the reflex release technique and the Logan Basic, the top of the sternum and the belly button, and just lightly touch and then bring it up. And then turn to the left and then take your eyes back to the right. And then relax your eyes and take your eyes back to the right. And relax your eyes and take your eyes to the right. And relax. And then turn to the right side and then eyes to the left and relax. And eyes to the left and relax. And eyes to the left and relax. And we'll keep that super light touch on the belly button and the upper ribs, or upper sternum. And then we're going to combine some integrated manual therapy for the liver and the stomach, the stuff under the diaphragm. So we're going to slouch like a teenager, and the fingers touching the belly button, super light. The fingers touching the upper sternum, super light, bringing them up. Let's turn to the right about 30 degrees, and then just drop your left shoulder about 35 degrees, and we'll hold that for 1 minute. So this technique, the position, is from Sharon Giammatteo, and physical therapist, PhD, the late Sharon Giammatteo, and she was a teacher for Upledger, Dr. Upledger, who developed cranial sacral, and this one doctor, Jean-Pierre Barral from France, osteopath. I took all his levels through the advanced levels of visceral manipulation, and you had to be really, really, really good to work on the liver. You had to be very skilled to find where the restrictions were and how to release them and help the liver move in all directions and improve the function of the liver. And then Sharon was teaching this stuff, and she found that if you did this position, the slouch, turn to the right 30 degrees, and bend to the left 35 degrees, that it did all the stuff that his advanced stuff did to the liver. And the idea with this is we think of the liver and the house that the liver lives in. So the rib cage, the belly, the muscles around it, all the connective tissue. It's the physical house. If the physical house is twisted and tight and has some congestion and tightness and stuff, then the liver is not going to do very well. It's not going to do over the 500 functions we know the liver does. It might not do all of them. It'll say, you know what, let's do some detox, but let's leave some of the pollution down in the belly and down in the hips because we don't want it to go to the heart. Our liver's not doing so good. And let's don't turn on the cholesterol that makes the sex hormones because we just need to live. Like, who cares about sex right now? We got to just make this liver be okay. So what we want to do is improve the house of the liver so the liver can go up and down and left and right and turn like it's supposed to move. And then the 500 functions of the liver can work. And you can make your cholesterol, you can make your sex hormones, you can detox. The liver is about letting go of anger and codependency and connecting to path and purpose. And those kind of things you kind of put on the sidelines if your liver's not doing very well. It's like, who cares about your path and purpose? You just got to live. So we want to improve the house of the liver with this technique. And now we're going to do the other side of just under the diaphragm. We're going to slouch and turn to the left about 35 degrees, and then just drop your right shoulder about 20 degrees. And so this is the house that the stomach lives in. And it's underneath the diaphragm, which is such an important structure. Like when I still think the strain counter strain for all the diaphragms is a technique, a set of techniques that Sharon G. Mateo should have won the Nobel Prize for. It's so amazing. I do it for people, usually in the first day or two of a physical treatment. And the diaphragms are interesting because the respiratory diaphragm is one of the diaphragms. And you can think of the belly, it's a positive pressure. So if you puncture your belly, your intestines will flop out. If you puncture your lungs, it's not going to flop out, it's going to collapse in. And it's because the belly is a positive pressure, it will flop out. The lungs are a negative pressure, it's a vacuum, it'll just collapse in. And so you've got a positive pressure in your belly right next to a negative pressure in your lungs, separated by this diaphragm that goes up and down, that has holes in it that let arteries and veins and nerves go through it. So that structure is really intricate. What an engineering thing. And so to get the house of the diaphragm really good so it can move really well, then you've got your two pressures working better, your belly pressure and your the vacuum negative pressure in the lungs. And the negative pressure in the lungs, you think like prolapsed uteruses and prolapsed bladders and hernias and all these pressure problems in the lower belly. If you take your liver out of your body and you put it on a scale, it weighs a certain amount. If you put it in your body, it weighs less because the vacuum in the lungs attract the liver to it. It's like it lifts the liver. So all the ligaments around the liver and all the ligaments around the uterus and the prostate and all these little ligaments, they're more like guide wires. They're not to like hold it up. Like you think of a prolapsed uterus, the ligaments don't hold it up. They just guide it. What holds it up is this negative pressure in the vacuum. And so as we get this healthier, you get lighter and your organs get lighter. Isn't it amazing? So now come on back around. Okay, so we did some physical healing there. Ooh, and now we're gonna do some more physical healing. And this is from Sita Vedic from Dr. Naram. And I've been using it and it works really well. So we're just gonna go through them. You guys, a lot of you guys know these. The first one is your right thumb just under your nose. And you just press and relax 6 times. And that one's for calming the mind and the emotions. And so what I've noticed using this one is those anxious thoughts that people wake up with in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning, the worries and concerns, and they just go away. People might still have things they're working on and maybe physical issues that are not resolved yet, but they're calm. So, and it helps with sleep. So that's a great one. This one is for that spiritual connection. So the right hand, the index finger, and you just touch between your eyebrows and touch and release 6 times. And then take a breath and relax. And then do 6 more a little slower so you can breathe a little bit between each one. And when we do our peace process, we're doing things to calm the mind, to master the mind and emotions, to let go of negative thoughts. That technique helps to be in that presence kind of state of being. It's so cool that we have these little magic buttons in us. Okay, the next one we're going to do is for joints. I love this one. Amazing. They're all so good. So you're going to take 4 fingers as your measuring stick, and the first finger, the little finger, goes right between the ring finger and the middle finger, right on the palm, and then those 4 fingers, and then that 4th one is your spot. And go ahead and push that 6 times for your joints. And the next one is for hormones. So for women, it's 3 fingers on the thumb side of the left hand from the crease down, and you press right there 6 times. For men, it's 4 fingers on the little finger side, and you press right there. The left hand is about the past. The right hand is about the future, and the center lines are about the present moment. Okay, only do them, if you can't do the technique, just imagine it. The index finger touches the thumb, the base of the thumb 6 times. This is for your memory. So think brain function. Okay, this one's for digestion. The right hand, if you can't do it, you just imagine it. The first 2 fingers go down, and the thumb touches the ring finger and the little finger 6 times. Great job. The skin is the ring finger, that distal joint 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The immune system is the middle finger of the right hand. Touch that 6 times, the end of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are from Dr. Naram. For the eyes, we're going to go on the lateral corner of the eyes, on the little bone, but super light. It's delicate. 6 times. And then the upper inner corner, just off of the tear duct, down on the tear duct, just a little up and off of the tear duct 6 times. Good work. Okay, now we're gonna, now that we got the physical body really optimized, it's like very meditative, a lot of healing. If you were to walk before and after you did that, you would feel better. And you can do it 6 to 9 times a day. And those are important numbers because it's the Fibonacci sequence we talked about. It's like the code of the universe, the mathematics that encodes the universe. Okay, now we're going to do this technique that I find so useful for helping you get what you want, know what you want, get what you want, and then enjoy it. And I've been using it. It's like, it is incredible. So, and it's good to do it all day long. So distal end of your right index finger, and you squeeze it 6 times. Okay, and then just relax and imagine the white window frame that your right eye is looking through. And the question is, what do you want? And of course, see it in real time. What do you want? Everything you want. And then take your right hand and pat your heart 6 times and think very good. There's so many things that come through with this. Ilya and I have a technique called instant miracle technique. Christian Michelson's one that showed us that. And so what it shows up as for us is a big breath or a big yawn. So when those happen, it's just kind of cool to know, oh, that's cool. Okay, and then we squeeze the distal end of that right index finger again, a little closer to the joint 6 times. And white window frame, right eye looking through it. What do you want? Your biggest dream, just dream it right now. What do you want? And then pat your heart 6 times and think very good. It's the kind of thing you could write yourself a note if you get a full epiphany of what do you want. Then squeeze the middle segment 6 times. Having all of that, what will you do? And who will you be? And pat your heart 6 times and think very good. And then squeeze the proximal segment of the right index finger 6 times. These little squeezes bypass the conscious mind and go to the subconscious and the superconscious. And having all of that, what do you want your life to look like? What will your life look like? And then pat your heart 6 times and think very good. And then the distal end of your right index finger 6 times, squeeze that. And if you knew you were going to die in the next 6 months, what would you most want to do or be? And if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you most want to do or be? And if you had $10 million in your bank account and you didn't have to work another day in your life, what would you most want to do or be? And take your right hand and pat your heart 6 times and think very good. And then let go and notice what's happening in your body. It's interesting that that technique, let go of your thoughts, feel what's happening in your body, that technique is taught by so many people. My Qigong master, Eckhart Tolle, Michael A. Singer, David R. Hawkins, Raphael Kushner, Buddha, Jesus, and Dr. Naram. Just this technology. What's happening in your body? And just follow it. Let go of your thoughts. Stay in your body. And just notice. If you like, you can do a super light touch on it. That activates a lot of access to the spinal cord and deep in the center of the brain. And if you like, the other fingers can go on the top of the sternum. That helps as well. Let go of all unnecessary thoughts. Feel your body inwardly. And they're already here. I'm gonna just notice all of the wisdom healing teachers. Stay out of your thoughts. Stay in your body. Notice the most intense part of the most intense part. I feel like expanding this out. So we'll keep our attention in the body. And then you can have your eyes open or closed and just notice what you see. So if your eyes are open, there might be stuff outside. If you're looking through a window, there could be stuff on your desk. Just notice the stuff. And notice the space around the stuff, like the space around the trees, space around the stuff on your desk, the space in the air. Notice what's happening in your body. Notice the sounds, the little sounds, the sounds of my voice, the space between sounds. Notice what you feel in your body. Notice your inner body, the space in your body. Notice the space between your body and the walls of the room. And the space between your body and the space that all the space occupies in space. And what's happening in your body. And as you notice what's happening in your body, you can ask that question. Eckhart Tolle says it this way. Imagine like you're a cat looking at a mouse hole in the wall and you're looking for the mouse. Is there a mouse? When is the mouse going to show up? And in the same way, you could ask a question, I wonder what my next thought is going to be. And just watch. And then that question, who am I? And then the question, who is it that's watching? Like you're watching all this stuff. Who is the watcher? I'm going to activate something for your healing, and then I'm going to show you something. Everything you want. And just notice what's happening in your body. Okay, and I'm going to show you something that's cool. I did this when I do sessions. I tend to use my little asterisk sign, and I did it years ago. I'll find the other link too. But years ago, I was in here not knowing what to do. Just landed here, literally 11 years ago today, Halloween, and I had an offer. One of the new running friends had said, "Oh, come do a thing for our school. There's a science fair." And the whole theme of it is how to use science in your work. And so I was like, well, what do I do? So there was like thousands of people there, and the kids had little cards. So they had to go to all these stations and get enough people to check off that they had been to their station, of these business owners in town and other people, of how you use science in your work. And I thought, well, I'm going to make a letter, and so that when somebody reads it, they'll have a massive healing just from reading it. So I encoded it with my little asterisk sign, and and I had so many people testing it, little high schoolers, and they would test their neck and back and move, and then they would read this thing, and then they would come back and it's like, oh my God, how did that change? So I'm going to go find that article in a little bit and show you the article, but I encoded it with that asterisk. And then and so I think I'm not going to share this one. I was going to share a different one, but I'll just share that one later. But my little article, I'll find it while we do our work. But I've seen miracles like that, and I've also seen miracles with consistent sessions to keep clearing stuff. So there's all sorts of stuff, and I'm just loving what we just did. So let me know how it goes. Tell me what's different today. If you want to test how you're moving right now, go take a look, and we'll get to one-on-one. So let me turn off this part of the recording, and I'd love to hear what